Good evening, Mrs. Short here. I wanted to do a video for all the groups. We've had lots of absences due to sickness, and so I need to keep the parents up to date and the students up to date on what we're doing in class, so you know what to be working on at home. Um, so this video is for group 1. That's the first group I have. It's the little ones. And what we do every day is we work on our calendar, which is on the wall in the classroom. Talking about what day was yesterday, is today, what is tomorrow, also the season, the weather, also the number of days that we've been in school, dealing with our place value. So we count out the ones, the tens, and stuff like that. And then also, I wanted to say how proud I am of all the kids that have been doing the writing packet. We haven't had any resistance on that, and also the kids enjoy the packets. They're super easy. So it's great practice if your child already knows all that information. It's really good practice and a refresher course. So in group 1, as you know, they're printing their name. I went through a lot of the packet with group 1 the first day I introduced it. That way the students would know exactly what to do, and you could see also if hopefully you're checking their folders every night. Please do that. There's a newsletter in there. That's my way of communicating what we're doing in class. Also, there's assignments, so don't depend on your kids to do it. You'll have to check their folder. And then we did the month of January. The first day I introduced it. And then we did Sunday. This is what the papers should look like. I didn't color. They didn't even color, which is fine. I told them to color only if they have time. And write it as much as you can. Some of them write real big, so they can only write it twice or once. And then they'll move on to the next. And then 0. Some of them forget that this is not a color sheet. It's just a trace. So they kept coloring. No, we just want to trace it. Get a highlighter, crayon, colored pencil, anything that's colorful besides a marker and Sharpie because it bleeds through. And just 0, Z, E, R, O. Don't let your child color these. Let your child trace these. That's the skill we're learning. Most of them already know how to color. We're not learning how to color. And then as they trace the 0, they're saying it 0, 0, 0. As they're writing it, they're saying it 0, 0, 0. As they're spelling it, they're saying it Z, E, R, O. And one parent asked me if they could use pen because the child used pen. And on my previous video, I said pencil. You can use pen, you can use colorful pencils or pens, anything, as long as you're tracing. I don't really care what you use on that. And color, I encourage color. That's the only time we will use pen or marker or anything like that in class other than a pencil is when we're doing these activities and tracing. Any other time we use a pencil. That's probably why I said pencil. But yeah, when you're tracing, use whatever you want. And that way they can't erase it. So then I can see, did they make a mistake? So that's that. And then every morning for group 1, we do a calendar. They love this calendar. So as the month, the September, we look at that briefly. After we do the wall calendar, we do this weather. I or someone else looks outside the window to see what kind of weather we have, and then we highlight it. You won't see these come home because they're in the classroom. And then a hundreds chart. We did 1 through 10, and then after that we counted by tens the rest of the time. So they learned a great deal about patterns and how to count by 10. So after we did 1 through 10 across the columns, we went down, and we even added an extra roll so I could see if they could come up with the number. And then we started with 1 and went down, or 5, it might have been 5 and went down, counting by tens, then the 1, and then we filled in the rest. The kids did really good at that. They love this page as well. Even, odd. If it's an even number, the number always ends in 02468. We don't care about the other numbers. We only care about what they end in, and that's why I have the students mark whatever the number ends in. As you can see, this one's mine, and I mark it. We underline the number. They get to pick. They get to choose the number. We underline it. Each person gets to tell me if it's even and odd and why. I'm always going to ask those why questions in math. They have to be able to explain their thinking. That way I know it's stuck. But yep, they like that page a lot. And then this just keeps tally mark of how many days we were in school. So for August, we were in school 15 days. For September so far, it's 7. And we add to it every day. We even use a 10 frame on the wall to keep track of the dates that we're in school. 10 frame is important. Ask them about it. They know about it. They know there's 10 in the frame. And then, as you know, we've been working on a unit with time. You've seen these packets come home. Some kids, well, all the kids had more pages past this one. I removed the pages today because people that were absent, they've been doing those pages for group 1, and we're not doing those pages. It just happened to be on the back of the packet when I printed it, and I forgot to remove the pages. So actually the packet should end with this page. We finished the packet today. So what we did today was we labeled this clock right there with the minutes, and I asked the students to do this at home. So this was homework. It's due whenever you all come back to school. So I want them to finish labeling the minutes, just like I did there. And I even put finish labeling. Please check your child's folder. That's the only way to communicate with you. They'll write on the pages, because I'll tell them, you know, write this. And then after we did the labeling, we finished doing the times. So they had to draw the times on the clock. So to discuss that a little bit more, you can practice this at home. It's very easy. You just draw a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then you label the clock. So do your 2 tick marks. That splits it in half. That splits it in fourths. We need 12 pieces. So after you do 4, then split that one in 2. 2, 2, well, technically 3, but 2 tick marks. Now we have 12. Label your clock. I always do it in this order. Oops. That's how my brain works. So I always split it in fourths, then split it up to make 12, and then 12, 6, 3, 9. So you do it however you feel comfortable. And then talk about the clock. For instance, if this is on 7:45, looks like 8, right? Because it's the hour hand is so close to 8, but it's not. The hour is almost over. It'll be over when it gets to 12. And that's why anything past 6, it's getting closer and closer. It's getting closer and closer all the time. So this is why I need you to get a clock for them that actually moves the hour as you move the minutes. One that has like a little toggle switch on the back above the battery or somewhere near the battery. Because the kids need to know where to draw that hour hand. Most of them know where to draw the minutes. But I can tell that some aren't practicing at home. I need you to practice with them. Or get an older kid to practice with them. Someone that can help them. So as you move through time on the clock, the hour hand moves by itself automatically. And so when we're drawing times, we can't put the hour hand on 7 whenever it's 7:45. We got to put the hour hand closer to the 8 because the hour is almost over. So those are the things that you need to work on with your child at home. We practice in class, but first group, since we do the calendar and the red folder, and we also, I forgot to mention, we watch all those videos. Your kids love those YouTube videos, so I hope you're playing them at home. And they love the months of the year. And one student ran up to me yesterday and just started singing the song. And so he got a sticker. We have a progress wall. And as your child improves, I put a sticker on there. But I don't know how well your child has improved unless they show me. So they need to come up and show me what they got, what they know. So that student did without even knowing that he would get anything for it. And so he got a sticker on his tin frame. And so the clock song and the days of the week, they love those videos, so please play them for them. And those take time. So we're not spending as much time on the clock and moving through the unit like we should compared to the other classes, because the other classes do not do those extra things. But those extra things are important, and I'm finding out that your child doesn't know them. So practice, practice, practice. That's what it's all about. So yeah, do that. Practice writing the clock, drawing your arms and hands. Also make sure they label the clock. That's one way to practice the minutes. The other way to practice the minutes, you or your big child that can help, you take the clock and you quiz them. So make sure it's facing you, and you say, okay, how many minutes is at the 3? Well, it's right there. And they say 15, you're right. If they say 10, say try again. And then just keep going, mix them up. Don't go in order, because they know how to count by 5s pretty much now. Okay, that's how that's used. Let's see. So yeah, they need to finish that. And then we did the back. And on this packet, you know how I said that the hour hand needs to be in the proper position? Well, on this packet, it's not. And so we had to do a lot of correcting it, because it was made for, little kids that's just learning the clock. But I want them to learn it the correct way the first time. And so we had to adjust the arms on it. So we had to determine, is this correct? Thumbs up if it is. We circle it. Thumbs down if it's not. And then we would do the correct placement of the hands. Remember, little hand is the hour. Long hand is the minute. And say, for instance, you're doing like 5:40 on this clock. The very first thing you do are the minutes. So for the minutes, it's 40. And so your long hand would be pointed to the 8. The minutes tell us where the hour hand is going to go. So it's past half. Half would be 30 minutes. So our hour hand will be between the 5 and 6, closer to the 6. Like that. That's how that's done. Always do your minutes first, because then that tells you, okay, my hour hand should be a little closer. And I can show you on here what 5:40 looks like. 45. See how close it is to the 6? It's a little over halfway. This is the halfway mark. So your child will need to know that. Eventually there'll be a big test on time. So we did finish that today, except for, please do the labeling. You can label all of them if you'd like. But yeah, we finished the whole packet. And then group 1 will get, I wanted to get this out tomorrow. But we've had so many people sick. So this is a time diary. When you get it, you'll do 4 events. They do not have to be in order. They don't even have to be on the same day, but they should be before school or after school, because I already know what they do at school. You write the event here. If your child can't spell it or write it, you do it, because I'm not worried about spelling or anything, or even if they wrote it. I'm worried about them just doing the clock. So they need to write the digital time. They do, only them. And then do the hands on the clock, the analog clock. So they'll complete this with your guidance, and then you'll turn it in. It says, please complete and return. So they will get that, not sure when. And then they'll start doing things like time to the hour. So what happens is there's different pages. So everyone might share a page with one student, but not everyone has the same page. So I'll say who has mine, and someone will tell me that they have it, and then we'll do the times together, and we'll check each other's answers. There's a lot of peer correction in my class. The peers need to teach each other, and that's how we do that. We show each other's work, and we correct it if it needs correcting, and if it doesn't, then great. But I don't mind mistakes in math, because that's how we learn in math, by making a lot of mistakes. So I encourage the students to try their best, but not get worked up over making mistakes, because that's necessary. Then we'll do half hour, quarter hour. Quarter hour is super important, because we're going to be doing other activities with quarter hour. And quarter hour is, let me show you, so you'll know for when your student or your child gets there. Remember I did this? Well, those are quarters. They're fourths. So a quarter of the clock is equal to 1/4 of the clock. Just like if you had $1, you need 4 quarters, right? Well, the clock has 4 quarters as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a time will be either on o'clock, which is this, that's 12, so it stands for o'clock, dealing with minutes. The 3 is 15. The 6 is 30. And the 9 is 45. I tend to write whatever my brain is thinking next. 60 minutes in a clock. So those are the quarters. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. We add them up, we get a whole 4 quarters in $1. I always associate money with fractions, because we all handle money. So a quarter, anytime that you have a quarter, the times will be this for the minutes. It's been a long day. I even took a nap and I'm still tired. O'clock, 15, 30, or 45. So will our times be anything like 9:33? Nope. It's going to end in these times only whenever we deal with quarter hour. It's important to know that, because they will see it multiple times later. And then for group 1, they'll do to the 5 minutes. So when we're doing to the 5 minutes, all the times will either be o'clock or something ending in 5 when we're doing 5 minutes. So it'll either end in 00 or any 0, not 00, 0 or 5. So it could be 5:20 or 7:55, any of those times. Then they will see an AM or PM page eventually. And we have little clue words that we can go by when we're given a scenario to determine, is it AM or PM? Other than that, we wouldn't know. We have to be given a situation, and they do it in words. We'll underline the keyword, and then we'll circle AM or PM. In another video, you'll learn what AM and PM is. for group 2 and 3. I will discuss that. Okay. And then we'll do more with AM and PM telling time. We'll read the scenario, read the clock, write the digital time, circle AM or PM. But like I said, group 1 moves way slower because we do extra stuff in there, dealing with the calendar and the videos, things like that. You could help speed it up by doing that stuff at home as well. Watching the videos, talking about the clock, and the clock and calendar, all that. But yeah, they'll learn more if they see you actually learning with them or teaching them. And then eventually they will I've already been gluing papers in their composition notebook. But in the next video for group 2 and 3, I'll be talking about this composition notebook. Group 3 has already started it. And I try to speed up the process by cutting them and gluing them already before group 2 or 1 and 2 get in the classroom. So don't hesitate to ask me if you have questions. No one else will know the answer to it if you ask them a math question and what's going on in my class. If you ask another adult, they're not going to know. So I encourage you to ask me. I am available through text and email, but of course give me time because I'm teaching during the day and then sometimes I fall asleep at home afterwards like I did today. But yep, let me know. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.